representing the association in sharing with you some information about doing business in Singapore. Okay, I'll tell you how the night's going to start. So I'm going to share with you some information over here. You can ask some questions. Stop me any point of time. I know that my English may be not the best because the accent is a bit different. But yeah, if you don't understand, please. There are no silly questions here. There's only silly answers. All right. So the topic today I'm going to talk about is unlocking opportunity in Singapore. So quick one, show of hands here. How many of you here have already a business in Singapore? Already is registered. Okay, great. And you're also a Singapore PR, right? The rest of you do not have businesses in Singapore. Okay, great. Quick one, right? What passes are you under? Because I do passes. This is just my understanding. Who's under dependent pass? One. Okay, the rest of you are under EP, your own company, right? Great. Any other passes that I do not know of? Long-term visit pass? Okay, great, cool. Then I will know how to structure my talk. Okay, so why Singapore, right? I mean, for you guys, because we are here already, so might as well earn some money, right? But a lot of people choose Singapore because of the gateway to Asia. So a lot of companies, they come to Singapore, set up HQ, penetrate to Southeast Asia. So a lot of people use this as a gateway to Asia. Our political system, thankfully, is still very stable, right? We only have not many political parties, right, as compared to Colombia. I think there's a few, or maybe there's two. I'm not sure. We have a strong legal system. Our tax is quite competitive. Corporate tax is 17%, and then that's what was mentioned by Council that it's quite easy to do business over in Singapore with very friendly regulations. Okay. These are usually the steps of setting up a business. Okay. So just a bit of background. I do this for a living. So I'm a consultant. I do help companies set up in Singapore, apply our passes. I'm licensed with both ACRA and MOM, which are the two government agencies that actually regulate setting up a business and also applying our passes. So I can't say rubbish or talk about something that's wrong, right? But usually when I do this, I take about 1 hour, and I don't have 1 hour with you guys, right? So I'm just going to go through the highlighted facts, right? But usually the steps of setting up a company is usually to apply for a company name, right? You need to choose a name, and if your name is Nike or Temasek, it's not going to get approved, right? So choosing the right good company name, non-religious name, after you incorporate the company. Now, sadly, you cannot incorporate the company yourself. You need to have someone to log in using a SingPass to incorporate the company for you. Or you use a consultant like me. After that, you need to appoint a company secretary. This person is, yes?
Can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
Did you talk or?
Yeah, I can. I want to remove this. Not remove this. Okay, now you try to remove this. Yes.
Okay. For the first part, the self-company name, under which entity would do that?
Under which government agency?
Or is it an institution where we...
Yes. So the government agency you're looking for is called ACRA. A-C-R-A.
Oh, okay, same as...
Yes, same. Yeah, same registration. So you need to register your name first. Once the name gets approved, then you can incorporate your company, right? So yeah, why?
So we can register the brand, and later we register the company.
So those questions very in depth, right? Because I can tell you that this is Samsung, right? But maybe this is maybe the company name is called Samsung Holdings. So your brand and your company can have a different name. So I can have ABC Private Limited, but I'm selling, Nike shoes, example, right? So the company name is what people write your check to, right? That's the company name. It can also be the same, it can be different. So brand name, company name are two different things. Okay, cool. So once you choose that, you incorporate the company, which you can go online and do it, but again, you need a Singaporean to do it for you. So usually you find professionals because you're a foreigner. But if you're local, you can do it yourself. But if not, someone has to go in and incorporate the company for you, right? Then you appoint this thing called a company secretary. This secretary is not there to pour you coffee. This secretary's job is to help you do the filing. It's like an accountant. But this you must appoint within 6 months of incorporating your company. Get it so far? Okay, I'll go slower on this first slide. After you appoint, then of course you open a bank account. Then of course you ask, what type of bank account, which bank, right? So if you go to the bank and say, I want to open a bank account, they will ask you for some documents. So they will ask you for your passport, your ACRA BIS file, which you will get once you incorporate the company, and your constitution, which you should also save when you incorporate a company. You pass it to them, right? So and that's where you open a bank account. Now the bank accounts, there are different kind of bank accounts. Sorry, it's a touch screen until I'm forgetting, I cannot press it. Whiteboard. Oh my God. PC. Sorry, I'm sorry. I will not touch the screen anymore. Yeah. So yeah, you need to open a bank account, right? And the bank accounts, now there's a lot of bank accounts. There is digital bank account, there's retail bank account. Okay? So if I am not mistaken, after the bank account opening, then you to see whether you apply a license. Most companies in Singapore do not need a license. Okay? Most consulting do not need a license. Alright?
Which ones do you know it requires license?
You must sit down,
Oh.
check, or you type Google. Really? Do I need a license for this? They will sure. Yeah, but some need, some do not need. And different licenses are held by different agencies. I will share with you a little bit of license later. Then you apply for a working visa, which later I'll share with you. What are working visas are there? GST, Good and Service Tax, only if you need to. Why I say this? You do not need to apply for a GST if your turnover is below $1 million, or you're not in the import or export business where you need to claim the GST. Right? If you're selling products, you bring, then you apply GST. But if your turnover, which is your revenue, is below $1 million, don't need to do this. Don't waste your time. Okay? Of course, if you want to, you can. Okay? That's good and services tax. 90% of my clients, okay, no, not 90, 70% of my clients don't apply for GST. Okay, because there's more stats I'm working on. Next one, you open a CPF account. This is only if you want to hire locals, or if you are under a dependent pass and you need to hire locals, you open this. And appoint an auditor or accountant if you want to. So I'm not an accountant, right? I do accountants, but usually I tell my clients, if you're doing a small business, do it yourself. Excel doesn't really matter, right? But of course, if you want a very nice statement report, someone to check, right? Maybe a few partners, then hire an accountant to do the accounting statement for you, right? And then appoint an auditor only if you need. Most SMEs do not need to appoint an auditor. You only appoint an auditor if your turnover is above 10 million, which hopefully one of you will have to appoint an auditor, but this company you don't know, right? Or by law, you're required to audit your accounts. You do not need to appoint any accountant or auditor if you don't want to, okay? And then of course, make sure you comply to this year. Okay, this structure that I'm talking about is called a private limited company.
Sorry, one question.
Sure.
For the accountant and the auditor,
Yes.
that's basically the threshold is only if it's beyond $10 million,
You need
right?
to appoint an auditor if they are, yes, if you are beyond that.
Okay,
If not, you do not need to.
none of both. Okay.
Yes. Or you have more than a set of, I think, 20 shareholders. Yeah, there are some requirements for auditor. Most of you will not need to, but yeah, just because ACRA will send you an email telling you to appoint, but I tell most of my clients not to worry, you don't need to. Yeah, the company secretary will tell you whether it is. Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I have been now in this process of doing my taxes, and when I spoke with my secretary, she never mentioned about the accounting. And then somebody from the same company, she told me that because my company is a PTE, that
Yes. Yeah.
I need to have an accountant in my company so I can make my taxes with the accountant hired for the company. So then,
So I'm not.
I am not making $1 million.
No problem. I give advice to my customers and clients and to you guys in a very non-biased way. In theory, you should have someone who knows how to write your books and have your financial statements out. She's not wrong, or he is not wrong to say you need an accountant, because you need to display your books. If the government asks, how are you going to pay your taxes? How are you going to show the account? So in theory, if you have no accounting knowledge, you don't do account, you should appoint an accountant, right? You do not need to appoint an auditor unless you hit those thresholds. So when she said that you need an accountant, in theory, not wrong, but you actually don't need to. the problem is, can you do it yourself? If you know how to do it yourself, you have a corp pass, you can go in and you can do it yourself. Yeah. You don't need to apply. Yeah. I'm just sharing with you. Yeah, I hope I don't get into trouble.
And this part of the accountant is not part of the responsibility of the company secretary. They can
be the same. Most accountants offer this service.
Or it's an add-on service.
Yes, because this is mandatory by law, not mandatory by law. Auditor is unless if you hit the minimum. So this is mandatory if you hit certain requirements. You hit or you don't hit, you need a company secretary. Yeah. I'll share quickly, because our time's a bit short on these few things, okay? So before all of these, right, just to let you know, I was talking about this, but there are many other kinds of company setup, right? There's a sole proprietorship, there's a partnership, there's something called LP, there's something called LLP. There are many, right? But generally, why we don't recommend this kind of arrangements is because of the liability. Okay? So I'll give you an example. We open a restaurant, okay? And then the restaurant incurs some debts, and they can't, and the money in the bank has been used finished. The debtors knock the door and demanding for the company to pay. The company has no money. Are the directors and shareholders liable to pay that money on to the debtors? The answer is no. Because sorry, I ran out of money. In theory, they cannot chase after you. But if you open a sole proprietorship and you owe that money, they can chase after your personal assets because it's an unlimited liability. Understand? So usually, if I open a business, I don't know whether I'm going to make it or not. I don't open this. Now, you open this only if you're doing a very small business. Maybe 5,000, 6,000, just for fun. Because in theory, if you do business, you must have a business. Then you do this. You do this if you have a partner. Because money comes, friendships are taught, right? So you have a partnership company. And then the LP and LP, well, I can share it with you, but 95% of the opener private limited company, which I explained to you. And private limited companies, you can raise funds, you can bring more people in and the shareholders, but this is the most common structure. Okay? So far, okay, right? Yeah. Now, the requirements to open a company, okay? You can take a picture right now, but long story cut short, you must have at least one resident director. Mean someone who's a PR or a citizen. Now that director can be just in name. So for example, today you shake her hand, she's Colombian, you trust her and everything. She can be a director with no executive power. But you need someone who's a PR citizen to be a director in Singapore. Right? And there are some instances where if you apply an EPLN company, you can be that sole director also. But you must have a residency in Singapore, either a citizenship or a citizen or PR to be your second director, or you yourself be, right? So this is the only one requirement of Singapore for setting up a company. You can 100% own the company. Like some countries where certain industries are protected, in Singapore you can 100% own it. Yes?
For the first part, the director has to be Singaporean.
Or PR.
Or PR. That one is also if we have a corporate secretary, whatever, company secretary can fulfill that
Yes.
line, right?
So we can set for a company like mine also can say, look, I can help you appoint. We can find someone to be appointed. Of course, when we find someone, that someone must be clear, clean, no problem, no criminal record, got no issues. Yes, but yes, we can help you to appoint. Yeah, but the company secretary and the director are two different positions. Two different. What's the second
person?
It can be the same person, but they are two different positions, right? Two different responsibilities. Right. Yeah.
But that's part of the job of the company secretary to appoint one PR.
No. If you appoint your friend to be a director, secretary job just to do filing. Yeah, that's why I said big friends with her, but she's a PR, right? Yeah. So then you can ask her.
But the director doesn't have responsibility.
Of course, that's responsibility. So usually for this, again, I don't go into in depth, but usually what we do is it depends. It can be a director where it's a real partner working with you, a local partner, which you can find later, they're coming in, you can offer to be a partner. Or it can be a named director, a nominee director, whereby he puts his name down there so that you fulfill the requirements and have to sign the documents. Yeah. In theory, why this is there is because the government doesn't want foreign companies setting up, taking money, local orders, and running away. There's no one to find, right? So this is the safety measure from Singapore to do that. Okay, so there's some risks for local director. Later I can share my contact and go in more detail. All right. The company secretary must be a qualified individual. This is something that, so basically, they must have the license to do it. So must find a licensed person. Don't find a friend who has no license and be a secretary because by right that's illegal. The paid up capital is how much money you want to put inside the company. I'll give you a second. So basically, minimum is $1, but nobody does $1, right? Nobody is and I mean depending on issue, it depends on what is your purpose, right? Imagine now if you are a landlord and I'm a company, I go to you, I say I want to rent your premises. And you look at my upload file, you see $1. Basically, you run away, I only can sue you, other company, for $1. I wouldn't rent to you because I'm scared, right? But if your paid up capital is $1 million, okay, yeah.
Rent? What does it mean, rent?
Rent. Yeah,
But they don't ask if we are talking about an apartment or rental?
commercial property.
Commercial.
Property. Yeah, I'm just giving you an example. Or doing a contract. Let's say I'll do a contract with you. You want to buy goods from me. I will be a bit hesitant to give you the goods because you're a dollar company, right? Last one is address. You need to have a local address. A lot of people use their condominiums. Now, though that is not illegal, you still need to seek approval from the website to do it. So this, again, some people say, company secretary, can you provide? We'll provide you address that you can use, right? So all these services that you cannot do, there are people who are willing to do for you. Again, of course, for a fee, right? Everything is here as well. Okay? So I need to move a bit faster. There are a lot of passes over here. Most of you here apparently are the employment pass, right? But those of you who don't have a company, you can apply for entree pass, or the other pass like tech pass, one pass, and DPLOC. Can I confirm again? Every one of you here, other than yourself, PR and EP. The rest of you are EP holders. I mean, you can share with me. Is there any other passes here? All EP, right? Right? Okay, cool.
But we have people that are not here, but
Understand.
they are independent.
Okay, cool. So if they are dependent pass, I'll share with you a pass. But in short, okay, for you EP holders out there, in theory, if you want to open a company, you can. But you, in theory, cannot work for that company because your EP is tied to your own company. So what do? If you have a spouse, your spouse, the DP holder, can run that company for you. I mean, if you have the side, please don't record me when I say this, but but in theory, you cannot work for two different companies. You only can work for your own company. So a lot of people use their spouse as DP holder.
But for example, if we finish the contract with the company that is sponsoring us, our EP,
Yes.
and we join our own company,
Yes.
our own company can sponsor our EP?
Yes. That's what many people do. So let's say, for example, can you show an example? What type of company do you want to open possibly?
Food and beverage.
So you want to open a restaurant cafe. You are an EP holder under your company now. But you're thinking, I want to leave, I hate the job, I want to explore something different, right? So what you would do is you open a company first and apply the EP. Now, your current company will not know that you are applying the EP. You get approved. Bye-bye. Tender resignation. Really? Then they'll give you some time, they cancel, and then your EP is already approved, right? Approved for 6 months. Then suddenly now you can work under your own company. Okay?
Okay.
Another example. Okay, I put this pass here because a lot of people say the entree pass, which stands for entrepreneur pass, the only pass that you can apply. The answer is no. The entree pass has a lot of requirements. Venture back, fundraise, founder tech company. So I feel honestly, and I'm told to Ministry of Manpower itself, that this pass is very difficult to apply. Don't consider applying this pass, really. Unless you are really very entrepreneur, you have some sort of technology or intellectual property, or collaboration. If not, just this pass. Just we don't talk about this, right? Now DP LLC. So coming to you directly, right? A DP holder can run and operate her own company if she obtains an LOC, called a letter of consent. So once she has that, she can actually run and manage her own company. The only drawback is when she wants to renew the LOC, which gets approved depending on the duration of the DP, she needs to hire at least one local staff for the next 3 months. Yeah. And the salary is LQS. LQS is the lowest qualifying salary, which is at 1,006. So if you after you get LOC, don't hire anyone, and in the last 6 months or 3 months, you hire someone, and you hire the person for at least 3 months, shown in CPF, then they will renew your LOC for the next 1 to 2 years. Yeah, so that is DP LOC. So DP can work in Singapore as LOC. Okay?
I have to hire someone.
Sorry. Say again, sorry.
For 3 months.
Minimum.
That's it, minimum.
Minimum.
For a year.
No, for 3 months.
Just for a year, I mean. The first year,
Yes.
and then the next
Subsequent year, they will check you again, have you hired.
Okay.
Yeah, so
every year.
Yeah, so in theory, this is our government's way of saying, please hire some locals.
Right.
And continue. Right? It's everything here is a policy. So yeah, you can hire her for 3 months. I'm using the example again, but just right? Pay CPF, right?
We will use you.
It would be so busy next year.
Yeah. Now again, I'm sorry if I offend you. Just the example, right? Yeah. So, but the problem with this pass also, instead of getting EP, is that if, for example, your spouse decides to leave the country, then your business story is too bad. You can't run because the LLC is dependent on DP and DP is dependent on the EP. Okay? So not that your spouse is going to run away, but not very stable, right? Okay? Fair enough, right? Okay. Now, this is called LTVP. So I didn't know who's the people here. Yeah. Who are the people here? But general, long term short, long-term visit pass can be issued on a variety of ways. One is if you are married to a Singaporean local, you can apply for PLOC, which makes you be able to work for anybody. If you are parents of Singaporeans or PR, you can apply for this, which none of you are. If you are foreigners who's coming to Singapore because your child is studying in the international school, you can actually apply for a work permit on the second year. However, be mindful, a work permit cannot be a director of the company. So you cannot run your own business, you can work for someone. Okay? So just remember this. Some passes do not allow you to be directors of the company. Meaning you cannot own the company. You cannot be a director or shareholder. And those passes are work permits, S-Pass, and this pass called a PEP. There are more than 15 passes. So I never mentioned all. One of the passes is called a PEP, Personalized Employment Pass. Okay? Personalized Employment Pass is one of the visas. There was Tech Pass, one pass I didn't mention because I tell you it's 1 hour, right? Yeah. So these three cannot become directors of company. It means you cannot own your own company. Okay? None of you are on this category. I don't think so. Okay? Licensing. Example of license. So food shop license, apply for here. Liquor license, apply for police force. So restaurant, you need to apply for food shop license. If you want to sell liquor, you need a liquor license. Yeah. Naming other industries. Jewelry, unless you're selling diamonds. If you're selling diamonds, Ministry of Law. If not, then no problem. Technology, sports. If you want to run a sports center, gym. If you want to manufacture food. These are just some of the licenses. Just put the top 10. That's it. Google top 10. So these are top 10. Okay? So don't worry. You just Google it. It's easy to find. And just apply. And again, usually the company secretary can tell you which license to apply for you. Usually. Okay? Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay? I'm finishing up already. So remember your requirements for compliance yearly. You need to have a company secretary to file your annual returns with ACRA. This is under M1. You need to make sure, annual returns ACRA, sorry. You need to make sure that you file your corporate taxes every year. Some places, the tax is every month. This every year. If you have GST, which I mentioned earlier, you need to file it every 3 months. I'm just sharing with you. Usually it's just this and this. Okay, very simple, alright? These are the costs that you may incur. Again, if you have a friend, you save on this. This one every year $60. Again, I don't need to read it down, but I just share it with you. These are the things. You can find an accountant can do it. Address if you use your condo, you save on it. So estimate it can be as low as $600 all the way to $5,000. Yearly, okay, this is a yearly cost. Yeah. The biggest fee that you have to pay is this because there's a lot of risk to be a property director. So having a friend, a partner is very good for that. Yeah, that will set you apart. Yeah. Other than that, the rest of them is quite cheap. Or affordable, I would say cheap. Singapore is cheap. Okay, conclusion. Singapore offers a very dynamic environment. We are strategically located since you are here. If you bring some business from Colombia here or products here, I think it's very good to penetrate the Asian market. Make sure that you comply with the local regulations which I shared with you earlier. And of course, always seek assistance and professional help. You talk to one person, they give you this answer. You talk to another one and see whether the answer is correct. Yeah, always seek professional help if possible. That's about it, I think. Yeah. So this one, if you scan it, I won't answer it, but I have a staff, right? Just quote this, and we can have coffee. Yeah, you can just send a WhatsApp and quote Colombia to SG. Then any point of time, if you want to have any questions, you can answer over there.
That's the discount code.
Well, I'm very happy to extend, but again, I don't want to, I cannot promote my business, but here's for you to answer questions. But yeah, but please let us know that you're from here because we receive a lot of numbers from overseas and we do not know who they are. Yeah. Okay?
No.
Yeah, so this is my company.
No, not in Texas actually.
Like that? Okay, later I'll pass you. Yeah. I have some name cards I can pass you guys later. Okay? Okay, sorry, questions. Other questions before I let the other owners in.
So a tourist, he can come, the person can come and find a director and open a business, or no?
A tourist can come to Singapore using a tourist visa, and if he wants to open a company, he should find a resident director. If you cannot find a resident director, he should find a professional agency and ask to open for them a business. So a lot of the foreigners who want to come to Singapore, they will come to Google and they find an agent and the agent will wait for them. Yeah, in Singapore, usually that's what they do because there's a few laws here to look at. Yeah, but other than that, all is quite simple. You do not need to find a resident director. I mean, there is a fee to everything in Singapore. That is the fee that you have to pay to find to appoint a resident director. Yeah, but most of the time they just come in down here and they will find. And there are cheaper options down there. There's some people who maybe do very cheap resident directorship, But again, just make sure whatever agency you use, make sure that they are licensed, proper companies. Yeah, there's a lot of, everywhere in the world there are scams, even in Singapore. Don't be surprised. So make sure they are licensed, make sure you can trust them. Ask a few people about them.
So the license is through the ACRA that
Yes.
you can check?
Yes. Accra and MOM. Yeah, these are two licenses.
So in Accra, we can find the company secretaries listed.
You can Google and ask them what's your, Accra license number. Most of them who dare to advertise, most of them would have a license. Not sure, you can ask him and you can ask me and I can tell you your license. Yeah. Don't worry. I really am here, happy to help. Yeah.